Everybody likes a good deal. Many video games might not be considered that. Constantly you'll see complaints of games being too expensive, whether warranted or not. That's why collections like Nintendo Selects are so great. Best-selling games at a price of $20. And one day, that was just what my parents needed to allow my brother and I to each pick up some games. Back around 2010, I was at my local Toys R Us, and my brother and I each picked out a game. I picked out Mario Galaxy, one of the weaker 3D Marios in my opinion. Meanwhile, my brother, who was and still is a big sports fan, got what may very well be my favorite game on the Wii.
Mario Super Sluggers is what I consider to be the greatest baseball game of all time. But I can't cover this on my own. It's good fun in single player, but at its core, this is a multiplayer game. I need someone to score 57-0 against. I could have my brother on, but I feel like I need a Mega Man fan for this. How am I gonna find one of those, though?
Hey, I'm FuseFall, and I sure do love Mario sports games.
You sure a Golden Sun fan?
First, yes. Second, I hate you because the scars still haven't healed.
Guess you never recovered from being super rushed to the hospital.
I truly never did. Anyway, my history of the Mario Sports series is more so at the tennis and golf games, but I do have a place in my heart for baseball. In real life, my favorite sport is hockey, but I do have an appreciation for baseball. It's one of my favorites. So yeah, of course I'll play a video game version with Mario in it. I wouldn't say I have as strong of an attachment as Rai, but going into this, I have some experience with both Super Sluggers and the previous baseball game, Mario Superstar Baseball.
Personally, despite the fact that I hate sports, I'm a huge fan of their Mario counterpart. I have a lot of good memories with this game, and despite a small stretch where I hated it, it's gonna be hard for me to be unbiased here.
Hopefully Fuse will be able to provide a more unbiased approach to the review. Is this game a grand slam, or is it as bad as the No Guy's stats? That's what I aim to find when I'm covering Mario Super Sluggers.
Getting into the game, we have a really nice intro.
Much like Pac-Man Party, this is very much from an era where these kinds of opening cinematics were being phased out. So it's incredibly nice to see one that's so high effort.
This intro sells the excitement and over-the-top nature of this game. You see characters using their moves, such as Donkey Kong. Or how about when Luigi barely catches the ball and Donkey Kong slams Luigi? So then you're left wondering if Luigi caught it, and yep, he did. The production values here are stellar, and this intro is an absolute joy to watch.
This isn't the only cutscene either. There are several in this game's story mode as well. Let's get into that next. In challenge mode, Mario and friends are tasked with stopping Bowser Jr. from taking over the island by beating him in baseball. To do this, you'll need to gather a team of 9 all-star players by searching through 5 of the ballparks. You'll gain the ability to play as each of the captains from these ballparks as you progress, and they'll help you find more players. Mario is the one who you start with. He can jump into pipes and talk to plants for some reason. Yoshi has a ground pound ability much like Yoshi's Island, allowing him to go through manholes like those in Sunshine and knock down things from trees. DK has his classic hand slap, allowing him to break boxes and barrels, along with the ability to climb vines. Wario has a magnet which he can use to grab treasure, and he can open treasure chests. Finally, Peach has a heart ability, allowing her to heal things. She uses it to grow a plant, free a Koopa from a poster, and a few other things.
Another interesting aspect of challenge mode is how the overworlds are handled. The overworlds function kind of like a point-and-click adventure game almost. You walk around talking to people and solving puzzles. These puzzles are, well, Wii mini-games. Use forced motion controls with the pointer to try and do precise stuff, but because you're playing on the Wii, it won't actually be that precise. Thankfully the game isn't too harsh and you should be fine. These puzzles and challenges are way more tedious than I wish they were. I get this is a Wii game, but did we really need to shove them into every aspect of the game? You can also use the captain's different abilities for different interactions with the ballparks. As you progress through each park using your abilities and solving puzzles, you'll unlock new characters. Sometimes when you meet a character, you'll have to do a scouting mission. Scouting missions are small, quick, baseball-related mini-games. You do tasks that are usually as basic as doing the right kind of pitch or just scoring a slam dunk. That's what those are called, right?
I'm pretty sure those are called touchdowns. Maybe you don't like baseball as much as you think you do.
Fair enough. Since I'm inexperienced with baseball, why don't you take it from here then?
As the clear baseball expert here, I noticed this game has a lot of repeated missions. Challenge mode consists of the same 10 or so challenges repeated over and over again. Well, there's a lot more they could have done. I don't see too much of an issue. Despite it being a bit samey feeling, the missions are still fun, and none of them really overstay their welcome. After 5 hours of searching for players, and the keys to the secret maps if you're going for 100%, you'll face off against both Bowser and Bowser Jr. If you have a couple of strong players, neither of these should be too much of a challenge. In fact, I beat Bowser Jr. 57-0 on my first try. Once you've completed challenge mode, you should have almost everything unlocked, so it's time to get to the meat of the game. Exhibition matches.
Once you get into exhibition mode, you get to choose the characters, and wow, what a fantastic character roster. You get a ton of variety here. You have some odd picks like the Noki and Tiny Kong, but I guess considering Sunshine was still somewhat recent when this game started development, the Noki aren't too weird. Tiny Kong though? Yeah, no thanks. The rest are neat though. We got a lot of Donkey Kong characters here, and I will always love seeing King K. Rool. Piantas are another great character, but most importantly, my favorite Mario enemy, Shy Guys. Overall, this roster does a great job balancing out the safe ones, the ones people see as fillers such as Paragoomba, the fun ones like the Donkey Kong characters, and the ones I never want to see again like Tiny Kong.
I have to agree with Fuse here. The roster is amazing. There's greats like King K. Rool, the Critters, even Darkbones from Paper Mario The 1,000-Year Door shows up. And most importantly, Wiggler is here. Many of these guys don't show up in Mario spin-offs often, so it's nice to see them all here. My favorite touch has to be how many characters have special bats instead of the usual ones. Critters use spiky barbells, Boomerang Bros use their boomerangs, Funky uses his surfboard, and Baby Donkey Kong uses a frickin' banana. That's hilarious and I need it in my life. Each of the 12 captains here also have special abilities for pitching and batting. These help to spice each game up, and make it harder for your opponent to hit or catch the ball. Most characters also have a special catching or running ability that they share with others, like Yoshi's Tongue Catch and the Pianta's Laser Beam.
How about the fields? Well, for the most part, they're great. Mario Stadium is your average, nothing special field. Peach Ice Garden kinda sucks. The ice gimmick where you can get frozen isn't fun. Yoshi Park has the pipe gimmick. I like Yoshi themed stuff because I love Yoshi, so this stage is a good time if I constantly forget what the gimmick is, and instead just think, wow, cool Yoshi theme. DK Jungle is another neat one. Similar to Yoshi Park, I honestly don't care for the gimmick, but hey, cool DK aesthetic. Donkey Kong is one of my favorite Nintendo series, so seeing it represented is extremely nice. You know, I'm noticing a constant theme. I ignore the gimmicks and focus on the aesthetic of each level. I kinda feel bad. They put all this effort into gimmicks, and all I do is focus on how it looks.
I somewhat agree. The theming is so good in these stages that the gimmicks get kind of ignored. This isn't really a bad thing though. Despite them sometimes being easy to ignore, I love the gimmicks on many of these levels. Bowser Jr. Playroom has these panels which launch out bullet bills and chain chomps, which can really disrupt the playing field. Daisy Cruiser is just straight up so small that you'll constantly get home runs. Wario City, I do focus on the aesthetic a lot, much like Fuse does with the DK and Yoshi maps, but the manholes are kinda cool. I'm not Fuse, I swear. Luigi's Mansion has these ghosts which scare you away from sectors of the outfield, which is a really cool touch. Finally, Bowser's Castle is able to be chaotic as hell with its constantly spewing lava and King Bob-omb being around to cause trouble. In the end, there isn't really a field I hate, not even Peach's Ice Garden. And the best part of all of them? The music. The entire soundtrack is great, but I have to give special credit to Wario City. This track isn't only the best in the game, I'd say it's one of the best tracks in any Mario spin-off. Many of the fields also have night themes. There isn't much to say about them. but they do shake up the gimmicks a bit and add to the aesthetic of many of the best fields.
So now with all the pre-gameplay stuff covered, let's talk about the actual baseball experience. As expected, this game uses a lot of motion controls. You'll find yourself constantly swinging the controller around. I find the motion controls work just alright. I think what helps is that something like swinging a bat feels natural with the Wiimote. Pitching isn't too bad either, it feels pretty natural overall.
Super Sluggers' motion controls are incredibly comfortable and have strong ease of use, especially for batting and pitching. They feel so right that I never even suspected button controls were an option. But halfway through editing this video, I noticed an option in the menu to change control schemes. Apparently this game has full-on button controls, and I don't like them! Button controls feel really unnatural here. And while that may partially be because I only grew up using the motion controls, there is one genuine problem: the lack of analog movement. Controlling things in only 8 directions feels really imprecise, and I'd honestly rather just use the motion controls. The game feels completely designed around them. There is one thing that meets in the middle: the nunchuck controls. They provide the more complex feeling of the button controls, while also having some motion options. Sadly, my nunchuck is in kinda poor condition. Also, the stick is really sticky for some reason, so I'll let Fuse take it away.
Oh yeah, the fielding. Fielding kinda sucks. Maybe I'm just not doing it right, but it doesn't always feel like my fielders are going where I want to. I hate when it changes fielders, and sometimes it has screwed me up and ruined my plays. What does the nunchuck add though? Well, you can now steal bases and also choose what direction your individual batters run in, or what direction balls are thrown in.
All this so far is pretty standard baseball stuff. What makes this game unique? Well, there are a few mechanics beyond each field and character's gimmicks. The chemistry system is the main highlight here. Certain characters have good chemistry with others, allowing them to do 2 different special moves when placed next to each other: the buddy jump and the buddy throw. The buddy jump allows you to catch a high-flying ball that you usually would be unable to, while the buddy throw allows you to throw a ball really fast after it's tossed to you by someone you have good chemistry with. These really help to add a defensive counter to what would otherwise be a complete slugfest, and I really enjoy them. Next up, error items. Now, I'm no melee player, but I actually never used these. I like the game with a good few gimmicks, but the items were a bit too much for me. So, Fuse, take it away.
Look man, I didn't use the items. I'm one of those monsters who likes their Mario sports games with some wackiness and Mario fun, but also still requiring skill to be the main factor in winning. Why do you think I like aces so much?
Okay, Foxmane. Guess I'll talk about the items myself. The error items don't actually do all too much. They appear during certain players' turns, allowing you to mess with the outfielders. There are simple ones like the shells and bomb mobs, along with more complex ones like the boos, which make your ball invisible. I barely use these, and in fact, I recommend just turning them off. They're the only thing here that really don't add all too much to the game. In the end, I'd say the main baseball gameplay here strikes a good balance between the wackiness and the normal baseball fun. However, this game isn't just regular baseball modes. There's also some minigames. Let's get into Toy Field first.
Next up, we have Toy Field. Toy Field is a mode themed around coins and buttons. One player hits the ball and tries to land it on a space. The space you landed on dictates the number of coins gained. The mode also has a jackpot. The jackpot has mini-games and a large reward of coins. These are a solid way to boost your coin amount and get a lead. Also, when you go to bat, the 3 outfielders all control slots that dictate different attributes. First, the speed of the ball. Second, the style of the throw. Third, what item is gained by the batter. The outfielders then try to catch the ball to be the one who goes next. The mode also has bonuses based on superlatives, sort of like how Mario Party does. Whoever has the most coins by the end of the game wins. Overall, I don't care a ton for this mode, but it's alright. It doesn't really take away from the game, so I don't have any major complaints.
Yeah, this mode is freaking weird. My opinion on it has changed a lot over the years, and at this point I'd say it's just alright. While I'd rather be playing Exhibition or Challenge mode, this mode is fine, and still a pretty fun time. Along with Toy Field, there's some other minigames present. I don't really have much to say about these, they're all kinda basic. However, I do want to highlight 2 favorites of mine. Bomb Mob Derby is loads of fun. It reuses the randomizer for batting that Toy Field has, but instead it's home run focused. Your goal is to hit runs of varying speeds in a specific direction. You get more points by hitting bomb mobs in the right direction and getting a chain of multiple hits in a row. King Babam also shows up, and hitting him will net you a bonus. It's a pretty simple mode, but it's a very fun time, and I would honestly take this as its own fleshed out mode over Toy Field. Another favorite of mine is Gem Catch. Not as much to talk about here, but it's a fun minigame involving catching a gem without getting hit by items. I may also be a bit more biased to this one due to its setting in Wario City, however this minigame did stick with me more than many of the others either way. Overall, the minigames are nice additions here. Other than Bomb Mob Derby, they don't add much, but they're a fun time and something I like to go back to occasionally.
What about the rest of the game? We've talked about the modes and gameplay, but let's wrap this up with a discussion of the graphics and music. The graphics are about what you would expect from the Wii era of Mario spin-offs. They kind of remind me of Mario Kart Wii. The graphics have a plastic toy-like look. I think the main difference here is that unlike Wii, the graphics don't look like a filter of haze or a blur was put over them. Super Sluggers' art style is appealing and doesn't feel like a huge downgrade over Superstar Baseball. Music is pretty catchy, songs like Wario City are full-on bops, nothing here is awful either, which is a massive plus. I don't think I'll constantly go out of my way to listen to it, but when I do hear a Super Sluggers song, you bet I'll be grooving.
I have to agree about the graphics. They definitely have that Wii era feel to them. However, unlike many other games, Sluggers doesn't look worse than its predecessor. You can look at Mario Kart Wii and you'll see the models look much worse than Double Dash, but here the game and characters arguably look better. As for the music, I think this is one of the best Mario OSTs of all time. Both Fuse and I have already talked about Wario City, but that just scratches the surface. Almost every ballpark theme is great, and both the intro and credits themes are iconic as hell. The graphics and music here definitely put you in the mood to get some good runs.
In conclusion, I had a great time with Mario Super Sluggers. I think this almost ended up being around what I expected. I can't say I loved my experience. It's not like this is the most grand of video games, but for a small thing to play occasionally, it's alright. There's a charm to Super Sluggers with its roster full of fun picks, gameplay, and atmosphere. Mario Super Sluggers is a game I don't think you'll walk away absolutely in love with, but when you play it, you're in for a good time. It didn't change my world and it wasn't a complete home run, but I enjoyed myself. I would love to see a return to the baseball format for Mario someday. No, not you.
Well, now for the biased fanboy side of things. I've played this game ever since soon after I got my Wii, and I've enjoyed almost every moment of it. Much like many other Mario sports games of the era, this is full of charm, and it's guaranteed to put a smile on your face. The chemistry system is also creative, and I feel like it's one of the best features in any Mario sports game. The roster is one of the best in any Mario spin-off, and I wish more games had Wiggler and King K. Rool. The fields and music are great too, and I don't hate a single track or field. Challenge mode, despite its issues, is a fun time too, and the dialogue got chuckles out of me pretty often. Overall, my main problem with this game is its issues with the controls, and those aren't too bad and can easily be fixed in a sequel. I feel like the Switch era is the perfect time for one too. The Joy-Cons would allow for both great button and motion controls, and in an era of so many great Mario spin-offs, now would be the perfect time to bring back one of the best.
I love Mario Baseball, and Super Sluggers is one of the best sports games ever. My brother made the right choice picking it up all those years back.
Well, that sure was a fun time doing baseball. We got to take a look back at the past of Mario Sports and the sub-series that Nintendo left behind. It's really unfortunate that they haven't done a full baseball game again.
Let me guess. This leads into a Golden Sun video.
I wish, but I'm not that lucky. But I just got back from hospital, and they even gave me this free game. How about we check it out?
Alright, let's super rush onto your channel for this next title.